I am Thierry Van der Pyl. I am the director responsible in information and communication technology for microelectronics, for smart systems, embedded software, and photonics. Horizon 2020 is indeed the umbrella under which all research and innovation funded by the European Union would take place. And if you want, when you look at in every country, you have an organization dealing with research. So the same is true with the European Union. You have one specific umbrella, which is Horizon 2020. Now, the marked difference of Horizon 2020 compared to what we see very often elsewhere is that it is not organized by discipline. I mean, you could have a program on energy, you could have a program on transport, and so on and so forth. So here, Horizon 2020 has given up with a disciplinary approach. At the same time, Horizon 2020 would bring together research and innovation. So basically, if I may make it very simple, Europe is relatively good in converting euro into knowledge. That is, you finance research, you get knowledge. But we are not so good at the other side, taking knowledge and transforming it in euro. That is, having an economic impact. You do research, you have results, and what do you do with that? I mean, it should have an economic impact. So bringing research and innovation together is precisely our challenge. The root of photonics and the driving force has been for a very long time optical communication. It came from communication. As a matter of fact, the challenge is to have also the technologies, let's say the lasers, which were developed for communication, being used in other areas. For example, in biophotonics. For example, in manufacturing. Fiber laser is a good example. So there is one element for us is to determine we have a set of markets which are very important for Europe. Lighting is one of them, optical communication is one of them, industrial lasers is another one, biophotonics, and to see what are the core technologies to be developed across these sectors to stimulate the take-up of technologies. So you see we have a very strong market drive. Of course, I mean, in all these areas, there are some specific challenges. In lighting, the introduction of solid-state lighting is extremely important. Europe has got a very strong leadership thanks to in lighting, thanks to old companies like Philips, Siemens, now Osram. But this is being challenged by the new technologies, by new entrants, by Asia, and Europe has to actually be very active, proactive. We cannot rest on what we did in the past. So this is one element, but this is true in all segments. Biophotonics is a babbling area, a lot of potential. We need to introduce these technologies actually to hospitals to test it. So it's not only research now, it's also to bring all the elements, including standards, including biophotonics, good case, also a regulation to make sure that everything is conformant to what is acceptable. So all these are what we will bring together in photonics. So it's not only the technology aspect. I mean, there are obviously a lot of challenges in all the areas. It's more how to combine that with a policy on innovation. There should be a commitment of all parties. The public, largely providing support to research, and industry, driving the process, defining the priorities, but also committing to execute the research program and to have an impact. The ultimate goal is to create jobs. So, I mean, over the time, it will be how many jobs have we created through funding of these technologies. to make it simple, when we put €1 of funding, industry puts €1 of funding. So it's by definition shared cost. But through this public-private partnership, we are aiming at something much more. We are aiming at a leveraging effect of public money. That is to stimulate industry to put more money. And these are actually what we call, what we will have as key performance indicator. Among others, one indicator including the level of investment being done by companies in Europe. This investment can be in R&D, we are investigating this aspect. It could be also in manufacturing processes, in particular because with innovation we want to overlap, if you want, the development of technologies and the readiness of producing the products using these technologies. Therefore, there will be obviously a very strong industrial commitment and investment in the process. And this we want to quantify. I think at least for us is for €1 of public money, we should have at least 4 times investment by the private sector. The way we do science becomes really global, and we have global issues which have to be addressed all together. Data repository is a good element. Infrastructure on some cases. Open access to publications. I mean, all these are elements which have to be discussed with the scientific societies to make the research worldwide more efficient and also more open.